Share men will be on the internet, Mamma. Now, all your bill bebre, even though there Obia or opinions, not in China, no. Odisabia, you see something on the internet, now all your bebre. Yen I will come wa. Your Ghana main, no you the doom so called over 4 years. Send select to mudum for bed there, ABR 2 days. Near day it was straight 2 days, ABR within some hours within a day. ABR light not come off, ABR 1 hour during the day, ABR 2 hours during the day, light not come off. Since you know, even within Ghana, Crown are able to say that the Doomso is back in Ghana because ECG maintenance until they want to make it look like there it is oil Doomso the Waba back. Now, be someone there, say Doomso the Waba, how the Doomso, that particular word called Doomso, how did they come? Say NDC for former President John Dramani Mahama, na 1 year, we will not have a word called Doomso today. Uduma Nawaso, Uduma Nawaso, Uduma for Nawaso for over 4 years. Now, I am here there, we would have at least in Kayaba would end this phone work, but I don't go to Jamanting, Nakachi, no, Asami, Ibiso Fiba. And this food waka, but right now, no, I don't go to Jamanting. So, all no, you're not powerful, minimum work kaka. Now, ya, Bawumia Sabanya Kuya Katina TV na, Bobo video natural. What for me, I forgot to my family, Skazabon, that is Skazaido. This is actually going to be a proof as to some more kind. Now, actually, base more canon sama. What may I show video?
The president might admit that there's some doom so going because there is.
He said he will never return to
Everybody is experiencing graduated 12-hour power cuts, including me. Last night I didn't have power. It's a recurring process. He should come out and tell us that there is a difficulty with the electricity because we are experiencing doom so in a very refined manner.
But with all of this, I mean, he took responsibility and apologized for the difficulties that the country is in, didn't he?
Economic difficulties or the other difficulties?
But so that's a good thing, isn't it?
No, economic difficulties, because if you take the best and leave out the worst, the president might admit that there's some doom so going because there is.
He said he will never return to
Asama, we are some working. Sabi, what lights no walk off. Now, your pedi said the lights no call off, na abedin no call off. The boss of ECG Nankasa Wakasa. Now, even through this particular interview, you are only our GH1 Pokra. Now, our host no Pokra catcher there. Me a journalist, no president. No, you're not pamphubinum, oba out, Wabakasa. The Ghana for you, sorry. Because of this, the internet lights no call off in during this period. Now, we are trying to solve a particular problem. And with there, Enya obi motumunye kasadama oma abutoyin but obi owa beka na den on tasi. This is they are trying to compare Doomso 4 years of NDC to Doomso of a couple of hours. Hey, now the boss of ECG it is to tell you there so do Dubia you have to get a managing director obotumono wa sorry no wetu akada no kwana wa for that warrior politics within Ghana na nyafe. This is like there lights we have a problem there maintenance. Now all of a sudden because it's an election year, the Obama has no why there sabi or could see a particular oil government. And so on you do so ni woman. Imagine that Nankasa say na say Tina some Kenya, yes. But mother like a video in my non shaba kona bena mama video so today. What may you say na some okay area? Yen check in your comment section.
With the power situation, you say this is not doom so tonight as we speak, are you shedding load?
We are not shedding any load tonight. Everything is intact. And our customers are enjoying a very stable power supply as we speak. Even yesterday, there were some interruptions or what we call disturbances on the line. Gridco suffered some fire at the Malam BSP. So we had to isolate and drop a few lines. But with the requisite work done, we quickly restored power. As you know, we distribute what we get. So from the upstream, when there are any disturbances from the upstream, it actually affects our job on the downstream side.
Okay. But in the last 2 weeks, in fact, 3 weeks, because everybody uses electricity and ECG is a monopoly. So you use it. I experience it too. We've been having this power challenge. Lights going off. There hasn't been a plan yet. I've heard you explain it. What caused it? What's happening there?
Evans, at the beginning of every year, there's some maintenance that comes into play. I remember very well somewhere last year, it was Ghana Gas that had to shut down for some maintenance, and we had to make preparation for the purchase of some liquid fuels to keep the power up. This year, what we have suffered is mostly on the low voltage side, which has to do with ECG. Especially in the Shanti region area, we had a lot of underground cables exploding due to the heat that we've experienced over over this period. What then happened was these underground cables have high voltage, so we had to replace some of them. And when you're trying to replace them, by the time you realize you get to a place, there's a building on the underground cable. So you now need to have to rework and rewire your whole plan to see how you can join it through a different spot. On the other side, we have been experiencing a lot of overloads on a lot of our transformers within lots and lots of localities. I have always said that the next big conversation that we are going to be having, saying there's doomsday, there's doomsday. The doomsday that we are going to experience is not going to be on the side of, let's say, lack of generation, but what we are experiencing now is mostly on overloads. At peak, we have come to realize that a lot of our, a lot of our transformers have a lot of customers on them, more than what we have prescribed. Going through our system, there's a required way of doing it. We actually do 10 of the transformer before customers are loaded. But when you check through our SCADA systems, you don't even find out when those transformers were turned off for people to be loaded. I say this because if it hadn't been for the issues that we experienced in Sobenya and in Kroboland with our customers, we wouldn't have even known that local electricians had a way of onboarding people onto transformers without our knowledge. Now, the past few days, apart from the underground cable faults and some cable faults within certain localities, some of the power plants were going through a maintenance schedule, and we had put together a very proper plan that was helping us manage their maintenance schedule. So at some point, we didn't have a backup, and one of the power plants that we were relying on to make sure that the buffer was okay suffered a gas valve. An emergency gas valve failed. So when that happened, we had to take certain precautionary measures. This is gas. These assets are very, very expensive. We don't want to make such mistakes where we would have to say sorry. So what then happened was, at the time that the issue was happening, it was happening at the upstream side. And I do take full responsibility, and I have said on lots of platforms that, yes, our communication could have been better. We should have communicated that out. But I think on the upstream side, everybody was hoping for a quick reconciliation to the matter. But that didn't happen, and it led to what we would say some outages, which were quite unfortunate.
Listening from the Honorable Samuel Dubik Mahama. And with the some coming in an there, light no, or you true work off, or call off not for 4 years, or call for just maybe 1 or 2 hours be within a particular day. Now, because of their warrior maintenance, each beginning of every year, warrior maintenance, no, or the gun in Yibia Sabi, Utumono Unya Abataka crack. Now, obviously, they be a communication with one month, maybe you're back a few days late, means in Impano see. But about a few days late, in the NDC for their propaganda, Debbie, Amanda, much there. I remember they were Ghana Maimono. There yet, Memufuna, Yershema, Abano Bomano, or the Masabiente, Mokodunasi. Because Eshamana would be back. On the minority. Chawadio comments, do you think that my bill work can code it here or in the drunk for Dr. Bawumia? Other way light and we do no way in the politics. And yet, as we do for 4 years. We do for a particular day with a certain hours within a particular day. Now, Rebecca Yabawina Samana can also say, even yesterday I did not have light. Even yesterday in the night I did not have today. The whole of the night, no new light. Yeah.
Graduated 12-hour power cuts, including me. Last night I didn't have power. It's a recurring process. They should come out and tell us that there is a difficulty with the electricity because we are experiencing doomsday in a very refined manner.
But we are experiencing doomsday in a very refined manner. Doomsday in a very refined manner. There's nothing like that in this world. That is why America there. The fact that you come on TV and you talk about this particular thing in this particular manner, no, Chede Warankas and I am and it is clear. You have your opinion, no problem. But the moment you do this, It tell me that there was doom so, but in a very refined manner. How is it that we do life and it is a very refined manner? How? Doom so is doom so. This is clearly not doom so. It's not doom so in a very refined manner. So that some people they don't know how to even position one casa on opinions. Out to them, NDC, they are giving them a period, an opportunity to explain the 24-hour economy. Was it for watch sellers? No, was that for welders? I see they catered for welders. No, you know, for so watches for all your watch sellers. Oh, yeah, some. Chawad your comment section. Morocco do Ghana. Do you think that it's actually something? Worry, you know. What did you tell Dr. Mahmoud? What did you tell the MPP? What did you tell his sense? Do you think it's actually the best? Ghana is actually 65 years old. It is the news on each other. We are expecting to even hear it even more. This is an election year, so we expect that things of this sort will keep on coming. But the MPP, number Mumbai, the number Orubuda, Yankopon Oho, Babay Nina. Or for me, I forgot my family because schedule Bonadette is scheduled. I'm on crown, nature in the